Were you a good letter writer? You kept.
I was, when I think back on it. I have a cousin in Cambridge, and every time he get a letter, he'd have a different postmark on it. He said to me one time, "If I get a letter from you with the North Pole on," he said, "I won't be surprised."
Yeah.
And that was like a joke, but it was very close to being true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did your parents be able to write back to you if you were changing addresses all the time?
Or usually, from the letters were coming that frequent that you'd have no problem getting a letter from the last time around.
Yeah. So you kept in close. You didn't leave a sweetheart behind when you left?
No.
No. So you didn't have any woman you were writing back to then, huh? Um, if you were to go back to Ireland now to live, what do you think you'd miss most about living here?
I'd miss a lot about living here. I've spent most of my life here, and I'm sure that I couldn't even imagine how much I'd miss, but I know I'd miss an awful lot. Yeah. I can fault this, that, and the other thing, but I'm still part of it.
There's a thing I've noticed when we've been doing these interviews is that Irish people, which I already knew from my own family, really, really stick together.
Yeah.
That Irish people come to visit from Ireland, and the first place they go to is an Irish club.
Yeah.
As an American, I don't go looking for Americans when I go to Ireland. I go looking for Irish people.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? What is it about the culture that brings Irish people always wanting to be near other Irish people?
I don't know. I remember a missioner saying about when you visit Ireland, there are no strangers in Ireland, just friends you haven't met.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's very true about. I was in New York at the parade at last St. Patrick's Day. I met a lot of people that are just over, some of them from England, some of them from Ireland, all Irish. You can tell them on the street right away, and they say, "What part are you from?" And some of them got the map of Ireland on their face, like yours truly.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's easy to.
Is it easy to pick out the new ones, the ones that are just over?
Well, not. When I was in England, the one thing you could pick out was the counties of Ireland, but I think those days are gone too.
Harder to pick out?
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah. How about at time? I see that all the Irish. It doesn't matter what county you came from around here. The Irish just like to be with Irish people, except when there's a game on.
Yeah.
Then they get very clannish.
Yeah.
They get into their own little groups.
Yeah.
But aside from that, do you find that too? You weren't necessarily looking for people from your area.
Oh no, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. What I mean by every county had their own, like somebody comes from the south, you can tell by the way they speak. Every county in Ireland had a distinct way of speaking, and that was easy to, especially the years when I was in England. But I don't know if I'm sure that has changed now, like it has changed here too. Yeah. People from the south now are, more or less, we're all homogenized, and we're not like we were
not so much
20, 30 years ago. I think television has a lot to do with that.
That makes a big change, I'd say. Yeah, for everybody, even in no matter where you are in the world.
No matter where you're in the world, yeah.
Yeah. World's getting smaller. Have you found you've run into people from your area just accidentally, that you'll be out somewhere and next thing you know you've got somebody that knows your brother? Or?
Yeah, I met somebody in New York on the last, and she lives up here in Hamden, Connecticut, and she's from Sligo. Yeah. Crossing the street, it's amazing, 57th Street. That we were on our way back at that time.
Uh-huh. And from your area?
Well, not from my area, but I knew where she was from. Yeah.
How about Devaney's? I know there's another Devaney in this club that it's D-E and then capital V.
Yeah.
Is that a different area with the different spelling, or just?
I don't know if that came with them or not. Martin, but his his parents, I guess, they came from Sligo too.
Yes.
We came from Ross's Point, and he always used to say the other in Ross's Point, Lenadoon Point. We were at opposite ends of the county.
Yeah. And yet it's the same spelling except for the capital D.
Yeah.
D. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you, they often give me the capital V, but I don't want it. I don't know where they get that idea from. Some people have that idea that would make it a capital V.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like an O.
No.
Or a myth
No,
or something.
no, it's not. I don't know what it.
Yeah, how that came to be. Yeah. If you were to go back, what would be the best part of going back to Ireland and staying? You know, if you were to say suddenly, okay, you're going to go back to live, what would you think would be the best part about doing that at this point?
Really, but if I were to do that, what I would like to do would be to have a farm that I could just do what I wanted without having to worry about making money on it. Like do the things that I dreamed of doing when I was young.
Which would have been what?
Would have been how to make a go of farming better than they were doing in my day. I know that they're doing a wonderful job at it now.
Would you raise the same kind of animals that you?
No, it's a whole different ball game today. There's nothing like it was then. Yeah. Actually, they're part of the European Union now, which is you have to go by Europe's laws instead of Irish laws.
That's right. Yeah, but they contribute, doesn't the EU, the Irish contribute also to making the decision as to what those laws are?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of a voice they have over there. Yeah. You know, it's only one vote or percentage of the overall picture. Yeah. Your friends in Germany would be the main power brokers there.
Would they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So certainly the money system has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big difference there. Any politicians or anything in your family?
Yes, there was a politician, the Cousins. There was a cousin. Actually, his son was out here a few weeks ago. First time I met him since I left home. He was only like this height when I last saw him. He was here for St. Patrick's Day.
And what kind of position? What kind of in the politics?
He was in the county council, Sligo County Council. Yeah.
Did it make any difference on getting anything done you wanted to get done?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I know I worked for him at one of his campaigns, but I wasn't allowed to vote. I was too young to vote. I never voted in Ireland or England. My first place to vote was in Canada. Maybe that's why I like Canada too.
Yeah, so did you become a citizen?
No, they said they have no second-class citizens in Canada.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
If we let you come in as a legal alien, you can vote. You can do anything you want.
That's very nice. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
I thought so.
Yeah. And then here you had to be 5 years.
5 years
before you could become a citizen.
Mm.
And are you somebody that would be voting all the time? Are you interested in the politics of the country?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're out there making a difference. Good man.
I don't know if I make a difference, but
but you get involved.
I have my thoughts and my feelings about it. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Were you ever in the service, Mike?
No.
You didn't. You were lucky. You didn't get drafted because you were right at the right age, weren't you?
I wasn't. That's the funny thing about it. The first thing I did when I came to New York, I went down to Times Square. They had 3 booths down there: the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy. Mm-hmm. And I said I wanted to join. I said the reason I want to join, I don't want looking for a job here in October, and find out that I have to do 2 years in the Army. You know, after I get a job. Right. So let's get this over with first. I said I wanted to join the Army Corps of Engineers because that's the kind of work I was doing at that. They were in charge of the seaway. They had a lot to do with it. And he says, well, the first thing you'd have to do, you have to get a New York high school diploma before they would take you in. And he told me how you do that. And I told him the reason why that I wanted to get my duty over with before I would look for a job. He said, if you think we'll be looking for you, he said, you're too old.
Wow.
So he said, you can go and get any job you want. We won't be running after you.
For
And he
him.
was laughing and he wished me good luck. So I said, that's funny. So I was always told I was too young. Now I'm told I'm too old.
And you weren't that old. I mean, you were only in your early.
I was 26 then.
By then. Oh, see, yeah, they were looking for 19, 18.
Yeah, 19,
21.
19, 21, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were lucky on that one, huh?
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did you go all the way through school? Did you graduate in Ireland from high school? Or
from high school,
secondary
yeah. Yeah.
But they required you to get another diploma here?
Yeah, you had to have an equivalent. You know, you have to take the New York State equivalency so long as you'd pass that. That's what he said. That was the law then.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Yeah, I never heard
If you want to go in the army, you didn't
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah.
And,
Geez, I would have thought they'd taken anybody who could stand up and walk.
Yeah.
That was lucky. How long were your parents alive after you left Ireland? Was there a long time that you were going back to see them?
yeah. I was there for 20 years after I left,
So,
yeah.
so you had plenty of time to go back.
Oh, yeah.
But they never wanted to come out here?
No, never want to come out.
Yeah, yeah.
On one occasion I went home, I took my mother to England. And that was a big outing for her. She, actually, when we were in Dublin Airport waiting for the plane, all the little monitors were saying planes have been delayed because of severe thunderstorms in London. And I said, I hope she can see that. You know. She was able to read it better than I was. I said, you're not scared? She says, why would I? I'm with you.
There you go. That was good.
Yeah.
When was your first airplane ride? When did you take your first airplane?
My first airplane ride was in Enniscrone, where I went for they had a plane landing on the Strand, just 3 mile long beach. They used to have horse racing there. And the plane gave us rides around Ballina, the surrounding areas, so much a ride. And that was my first plane ride.
And did you like it?
I loved it.
Did you? Yeah.
I could stay up there forever.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen any of the horse races on the beach. But I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah.
Was that like at certain times of the year that they did that, or?
Yeah, I never saw the weren't many. They were on their way out at the time. But that was flat racing. What we had mostly was steeplechasing, which was cross country. Steeplechasing got their name. They used to ride from one steeple to another.
Of a church?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where they got that name, steeplechase, and they still call it steeplechase.
But in those days, it was actually through the town from one church.
Or through the farms,
Through the farms.
Yeah.
Oh, for heaven's sakes! I never knew that. It's very
They jump across your fence. There'd either be a sod fence or a wall or whatever it was. A horse would take on it. When they have the Grand National, that's a steeplechase in England.
Yeah.
And they have Beecher's Brook, which is a brook and a fence, and they'd have winds in it. So the horse, that's where a lot of them fall, at Beecher's Brook.
So that's the original form of steeplechasing, was
Yeah.
actually starting at one church and racing across
Going down to
fields?
the steeple, the next steeple down.
And did people make a day of that to watch these races
Yeah.
going?
Hmm.
Wow. And did you have to give permission to?
I never heard about the permission. I'm sure they had. I don't think they did have permission. They were glad to have it.
Yeah.
It was a break up the routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's something I noticed about Ireland too, is that you can have a castle on your property or an old stone fort or something, and people are welcome to walk on your property and go and see something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That there's not no trespassing signs.
No.
Did you have anything like that? Anything kind of famous buildings or battles or anything that were fought in your area? In Ballina, there was.
Oh yeah,
history there.
Killala was right across from us. Killala. Actually, they made a film there, and I was home when they were making that film. They had converted the whole town to look like it was a couple of 100 years ago.
And what was that called? What was that movie? Do you remember?
I forget when I never saw it. Actually, I never saw it after all that.
But we're watching it, but never saw it.
Hmm.
I don't know why she handed me that. The Kalala is where the French.
Where the French landed, yeah.
During what time of history was that? When was that?
That's I don't know. I'm not good at dates.
Way back.
Way back, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember something about it from doing a play, Kathleen Houlihan, but I can't remember what exactly was going on at that particular time.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I think I've asked you a lot of questions.
You did, yeah. I need a glass of Jameson now to
to relax yourself. Is there anything that you can think of that you're going to walk away and go down and have that glass of Jameson and say, darn, I wish I'd remembered to tell her something?
I want to say that I think that you did a world of good here when you're with your plays, and you do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I don't see half them, but
I'm glad you come.
I'm always thinking that when I retire, of course I don't think I'll ever retire, that I'll have more time to catch up.
What are you doing now, Mike? You're not retired. I thought you were retired. What are you doing for work now?
Huh?
Where do you work?
I work for Wilton Motors.
For heaven's sakes. Yeah. Well, you can't put a good man down.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, yeah.
How did you get to be a member of the GAC? When did you move? I didn't even think about that. When did you move to the Fairfield area?
I came to Fairfield about 1981, I guess.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Andy O'Leary, that
Got you
signed me
involved?
in. Yeah. But I knew Andy well in Stainford from.
Oh, from all the things down there, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how about that? Interesting. Yeah. So he's the one that got you involved down here.
Never changed over all these years, the same Andy.
Yeah. Geez, and I joined the club in probably not too many years after that, in probably the mid '80s, and of course anybody that was here before me had to have been here forever. You know. I just always assumed that. Yeah.
So I wasn't here. No, I spent all those years in Stainford at the Hibernians.
Yeah. And when did you move? Did you move to? Are you living in Fairfield now?
Yeah, I'm living in Fairfield now.
And so, and that was in 1981.
Yeah.
You moved up to Fairfield and got involved. Yeah. It's a good thing you did. All right. Well, Mike, thank you very much for taking all this time this afternoon to spend with us, and I'll be happy to walk downstairs with you and buy you Jameson's if you'd like.
That's great. That's great. It's the best news I heard all day. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. Thanks very much.